plus 700 pack is built in there,
Yeah, pack is in there.
and then 899 dock fee.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, and our goal on that number, what's our target on that number based on everything we built?
Overall?
Came to pay claim.
Overall, 3K.
Yeah.
3K.
Okay. Okay. All right, perfect. As far as the inventory, how many units do we have?
180.
And have we replaced 189?
Yes.
Have we replaced anything that we've sold? Have we bought any other vehicles other than the initial batch?
We've bought a couple off the street, but we're trying
Okay.
to not buy a whole lot off the street right now because of the bank account situation. We still don't have floor plan to file with.
Okay. Okay. And then, but we're nothing, we don't have any auctions. We're not buying anything from auction yet.
No, sir.
And what are we waiting on that?
The ability to
Floor
buy.
plan?
Yeah, the ability to buy.
And what do you mean by the ability to buy? What does it mean?
Floor plan so we can buy 'em.
So you can't buy from auction without floor plan?
I mean, I could
Unless
if
we write a
we
check.
write a check and use our bank account, yeah.
Okay, so we have the ability to buy, we just don't have the floor plan. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure, like we have gate passes or whatever, our dealer's license, we have accounts set up with all these auction houses. We're just waiting on floor.
Not all of them. I still need to, like Odessa and places like that. Unless we,
Okay, so we still need to set up some accounts with them.
yeah, unless we want to do just Manheim, but I don't think that's the smartest thing. I think we need more than just Manheim. So
Okay. And then, as far as the overall, like the team, have we had any other turnover within the team?
no,
Yeah,
not
we
up
zoned
to
it.
this point we haven't.
Okay. Alright, so each week, those are the kind of things I'm gonna want from you as far as like, what's our volume at, where's our gross at? What's our inventory situation look like? What's our team, situation look like? And here in a minute, we'll kind of go into some individuals, but I'm just getting you an idea of some general kind of metrics and stuff that I'll want from you guys, or from you.
Perfect.
Church. Mr. Michael Church, there he is, churchy. Who's on your team?
Howell, Dan, Clay, and Angie.
How many deals does Howell have?
Howell has no deals.
How many deals does Dan have?
3.
Clay?
2.
Andy?
4.
Alright, what's going on with Howell?
Honestly, he's coming in, he's still working his other job, back and forth, trying to clean up some of his accounts, which is fine. But when he's there, he's hustling. I got to dig in a little bit more to his deals. I got to get a little bit better. Zach and I talked about it with setting the appointment with a video from a manager. I'm not too comfortable on camera, so I'm going to start doing that. And then just picking up the phone and calling these guys and closing deals down and getting them in here.
Yes, I agree. I just want to make sure that everyone understands that these people are relying on you that they are successful and that their families can eat, right? Like, this is life or death type stuff. Most of you that are in this room have made a little bit bigger money. You maybe have some assets or some investments or, you know, some cushions, so on and so forth, credit cards, whatever, right? Most of you in this room have made some big money, but some of the people that you are leading, I mean, they're 2 weeks away from freaking poverty, bro. And I'm not saying that's Howell's case, right? But I'm just saying overall, that's how seriously we have to take it, is that these people chose to join and they're putting their trust in us, just like you put your trust in me, and I take that very, very seriously, to make sure that they're able to do the things they need to do. So because it is life or death, we have to treat it as life or death, right? And that means we gotta get super involved, like what you're just talking about, Jared, getting super involved with these guys. It's something I wanna suggest, like across the board, I wrote this note down yesterday for you guys, is you should never be working alone. Ever. You should never make a phone call alone. You should never work a deal alone. Like you should, the only time, like right now, anyway, like in the future, when we're slammed and completely covered up, and everybody's running around like crazy, you might be. But right now, in our leadership development academy, every phone call, every meeting, everything you should be doing, like in finance, when you're calling a bank or you're working a deal or whatever, there should be a triplet in there, or one of the salespeople should be in there. Hannah, you should have Stephanie by your side, right? She's learning all the stuff that you're doing stuff. Sales managers, you guys should have your teams around you. Either you're there around you at the desk, or you're over there with them somewhere doing something. There's only 3 things that everybody should be doing right now as far as on the sales side. There's only 3 things that everybody should be doing, and that's they should be selling, marketing, or prospecting. It's the only 3 things that they should ever be doing as of right now: selling, prospecting, or marketing. And they need guidance on that. You guys have got to jump in and guide them in those particular areas. So 2 weeks, Howell, no deals. I know the guy, I know what he's capable of. I understand he's got some stuff going on, but we have got to put him in a position to win. We gotta get him some wins. Ultimately, you guys all know it's supposed to be 1 car per day, every day they're at work. And obviously we're not there yet. We haven't done what we need to do on our side as far as our responsibility, as far as generating some of this traffic to make it easier. However, I will say, like church, how many customers have you brought into the store in the last 2 weeks? How many deals have you done?
I've brought in 4, but 1 bought.
So you've done 1 deal so far, good. I've brought in 2. Shelby, how many cars have you sold?
I mean, I haven't sold any. I mean, but I've brought some people in.
That's what I'm saying, how many?
1, 2. My mom.
Okay.
2. And
Okay, great. Kelly, how many have you sold, Kelly?
I don't think any.
Josue, how many have you sold? Corey, how many have you sold?
Brought in 1, sold 0.
Brian Gaines, how many have you sold?
I brought in 1, sold 0.
Okay, I can't see everybody in the room, so, who else have I asked?
James.
Zach, how many have you sold?
I haven't sold any, I've worked a few, but haven't closed any of them. Still working a couple of them.
Tom, how many have you sold? 0. Okay, is that everybody on that side? I think so. Hannah, how many have you sold?
1.
Okay, so, James, how many have you sold?
0, sir.
I got a whole service
Okay.
department that thinks they wanna buy a car, but they have not been able to buy it.
I understand that. All right, so let's look at this real quick. Let's look at this situation. Like, let's just all be real here. The leader of the board, when it comes to our leadership team, the guy who's leading the board, is Shelby, who is our detail manager. He has sold more cars than the heavy freaking hitting salespeople that I have in this room that have spent their whole careers on the sales side. Like, how is that? Like, we're asking them to call every person in their phone with the letter A. Are you guys doing that? If you hit every person in your phone with the letter A, with the letter B, what letter are you supposed to be on now? What letter are you on now? Kelly, what letter are they on now?
I'm not sure.
It's H.
Corey, do you know?
H.
H? What letter are you on in your phone?
A.
Hey, I like that answer, Corey. Let's go. What are we doing? We're asking them to do things that we're not willing to do ourselves. That's crazy, man. You guys are the strongest freaking closers in the world, hand-selected, hand-picked. Like, you guys should be freaking running around like Shelby, telling every family member, get your ass in here, come freaking buy a car. You guys should be posting, you should be messaging everything in your phone, like, let's go. Pre-season, first 2 weeks, great, got it. We've got the leads in place now. We've got all the computers. We've got all the laptops. We've got James. I know you're still waiting on some tools and some lifts over there in service, but I will say, as far as service and detail goes, I mean, shit. What else could we ask from you guys right now? How many vehicles are not currently serviced, James?
I've got, I believe 172 still in process and 18 that are completely finished, front to back. But yeah, we finally got a couple, tools like you're saying online as far as tires. Was able to put, together all the quotes. Stuff is starting to come together as far as the extra, needs of the vehicles besides the basic maintenances. So, yeah, we should have some more traction on that this week.
So we got traction there. We're servicing vehicles. Shelby, how many vehicles have you guys detailed?
A lot. I don't have the exact number, but I'm pretty sure I can get it.
Yeah. And that's, so when you come in every week, Shelby, that's the types of things I'm gonna want from you. How many, basically I'm gonna wanna know, like, what is the turnaround time for detail, right? Car comes in, what is the turnaround time on that? Hold on, Evan's calling. Hello? What's up? Yeah. Yeah, Zach's got I can have Zach text you the link right now. Yes. Like, what is our turnaround time for detail? How many cars did we detail over the last week? Any quality control feedback that you can give me, like, hey, this product sucks, we need a different product, or that product's great. The ceramic, do you have a plan for ceramic?
I mean, I have people that I want to do the ceramic, but as far as the plan, not necessarily at the moment.
Okay. So that's gonna be your responsibility, that's gonna fall under your responsibility, is making sure that we have a very clear process when ceramic gets sold. Ceramic gets sold, appointment gets scheduled, you guys do the work, and then Zach, I wanna make sure that Shelby is tied into the profits of ceramic. in some way, shape, or form, since he's gonna be the one leading that charge, I wanna make sure that he's compensated fairly. So Shelby, you can make some money on that way too, go ahead.
RC's coming by the dealership tomorrow, and we're gonna sit down and nail down like the final cost of the ceramic and everything that's involved in there. And then, we'll be able to get that dollar amount for shutting down.
Okay, perfect. And when I say a process, just like, okay, McDonald's, right? We all know McDonald's. You've probably heard me talk about McDonald's. McDonald's has a process of how they make golden crispy French fries. And you can get the same fries everywhere in the world, including when I was in Italy with my daughter, right? I'd get the same golden crispy French fries, no matter whether there's a smart person making the fries or a dumb person making the fries. A pretty person or an ugly person, an experienced person or a brand new day one person. I get the same freaking French fries every single time because they have a very simple process, right? Open the bag, pour it into the basket, dip it in the fryer, push a button for freaking 30 seconds, pull it out the fryer, shake the freaking salt, stick it in the red thing, put it in the bag and stick it out the drive-thru, right? It's a very simple process that anybody can follow. This organization right now, especially more than ever, while you're not crazy slammed, you guys should be developing your processes, your written processes for every aspect of what we're gonna do. Last week I was in Chicago with a guy from CarMax. This guy worked for CarMax for 7 years. When he was at CarMax over 7 years, he appraised 20,000 cars. On those 20,000 cars, he knows for a fact that his right knee was put on the ground 80,000 times. Because CarMax has a step-by-step process that they teach day one of how you appraise a vehicle. That includes dropping down on your right knee and looking under the passenger side of the vehicle, dropping down on your right knee and looking under the front side of the vehicle, dropping down on your right knee and looking under the driver's side of the vehicle, and dropping down on your right knee and looking under the rear end of the vehicle. 4 times you drop onto your right knee, lay down, and literally look underneath the vehicle. So he knows for a fact, with 20,000 appraisals, that his right knee was on the ground 80,000 times. I watched our YouTube video on our walk around process, our trade appraisal, and I appreciate us sharing and doing some growing and some learning. Totally appreciate that. But I watched it and I thought, 14 people are gonna walk away from that trade walk around training with 14 different ideas of how to do it. Because we talked about, I kind of like doing this and I like doing this. Church said I like, at the end, I like to get in the car and then start it up. That way we can drive it over so they can hear certain things. It's like, okay, great. Everyone's going to perceive that a little bit differently, and maybe they got some value out of it, maybe they didn't, I don't know. But they're going to perceive it a little differently. That's not a process. A process is, okay, you've got a trade appraisal. Step 1, grab the key. Step 2, you're going to insert the key, start the car, and get the mileage. Step 3, you're going to open the driver's side door and step out and circle the vehicle clockwise, making sure to silently touch this panel, this panel, this panel, this panel, this panel, this panel. You're going to use a quarter. Make sure you always have a quarter in your pocket. You're going to put it in the tread of the tires, and you're going to lay down on the ground. Whatever the heck you guys decide the process is, like, that's a process, bro. Step by step. James, you guys have a process step by step on all the things you go through?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's pretty in depth, right? How many points? Let me ask Brian Gaines. Brian Gaines, how many point inspection does James and them do in service?
No clue.
No clue. James, how many point inspection do you guys do in service?
Currently 113. We're still working through adjusting a couple here and there.
Brian, if you're talking to a customer on the phone, do you think it's valuable for you to know that they go through a 113-point inspection?
Absolutely.
It's huge, right? And do you think it could be valuable if you knew exactly what that 113-point inspection was?
Yes.
Be great, right? It also needs to be over on our website. It needs to be all over the place. We're not just running pot lot shit used cars out of this place like most of these freaking independent lots up and down the freaking rip. We're making the investment to make these cars. They're basically doing a certified inspection on every single car. Everyone in this room should know what that inspection entails, so that when you're having a conversation, when Hannah's hitting up all the people in her phone to let them know that she's at 800%, it's the best place to buy a car, Hannah needs to be able to say, dude, and you're not going to believe it. They go through 113 different freaking things on these cars to make sure they're amazing. I worked at other stores that didn't even look at 13 things, let alone 113. Do you see what I'm saying? We got to communicate better as an organization and as a team. We got to work together better, because we've made the investment. We have the tools, we have the cars, we have the building, we are investing more in paid marketing than any freaking independent dealership in the country, I guarantee you. And we just got open. We're making investments in all of the people. We're making investments in having an incredible environment for you all to work in, minus the damn AC, which is driving me nuts, right? So the investment's all there. The investment is all there. And we have to level up as leaders. As I was listening to that trade walk around, I heard the reason we do this is we want to devalue the customer's trade. Do we want to devalue the customer's trade, or do we want to accurately assess the customer's trade? My guess is we want to accurately assess the customer's trade. My guess is you guys aren't shady freaking car guys that want to devalue someone's trade-in. You want to accurately assess it, right? And so now we've got salespeople who are thinking, okay, we're going to go and devalue people's trade-in. Man, that's not us. That's not us. We say we're different, therefore we must be different. And please do not hesitate to get caught doing something excellent. As a parent, as a leader, as a contributor to society, the best thing that you can possibly do is get caught doing something excellent. It inspires others, it encourages others, it brings out the best in people. But when you get caught doing things not excellent, it's the exact opposite. It has the exact opposite effect. People are less inspired, less encouraged, less motivated. Every action as a leader, every single action is watched. Every single action is processed. Every single action is ultimately psychologically being used to determine if someone wants to follow you or not. So let's use this time to develop the processes. Let's use this time to make sure that we're never alone. Let's use this time to act in excellence at the highest level. No excuses, right? No excuses. Corey, who's on your team?
Lamont, Logan, and Haley.
Lamont, Logan, and Haley.
Yes.
How many cars does Lamont have out?
1.
How many cars does Logan have out?
0.
How many cars does Haley have out?
4.
These ladies are freaking crushing it, bro. Haley and Angie, nice. What's going on with Logan?
So Logan's he's had a lot of outside stuff going on where he's been moving for the last week, trying to find a home. He's had some issues that he's getting away from, and he's come out better. So he's had a lot of that going down. So mainly we just need to get him in front of, he's got to just get in front of more people. That's his thing.
And what about Lamont?
Lamont's a hustler. I mean, his problem so far is we've had a lot that we couldn't get approved on.
Yeah.
Because he's constantly on the phone. He's got people in his pipeline, and he's constantly getting people in. It's just we've failed at getting some approvals with some of the lack of banks and some of the situations that they've been in.
Yeah. How many deals have you guys given Lamont?
Zero, I would assume.
Yeah, if he has one out,
Did-
he generated it.
Yeah, he generated his own.
Hold on real quick. Hold on, I have to call for my car real quick, so I'm gonna have to leave in just a minute, so hold on a second. Sir, can you transfer me to the valet, please? I'm sorry? Yeah. I can go, sorry, I can hear you. Oh, thank you. It's 233-881. Okay, thank you. I'm not checking it. Okay, so let me ask you guys this. Out of everybody on the sales floor, who busted their ass the most in getting that dealership together?
Lamont wasn't even close.
Lamont, and it wasn't even close, because that's what I saw, right? So why are we not feeding the shit out of that guy right now? I mean, that guy busted his freaking ass, dude, to get that place together. Sweating out there, last one in, first one in, last one to leave. And we were letting him, I mean, he's been there 2 weeks, we let him have one freaking car deal. Like, you guys are responsible for these people's success, man. All of you, everybody in the room. Tom, who's on your team?
I got Albert, Mike Evans, and Brandon Chavez.
Brandon, oh my, where did my pen go? I don't know where it went. Say it again, you got Brandon,
Albert,
Mike,
Mike Evans, yeah.
Brandon, Mike, and who?
Alex.
Alex?
Yeah.
Okay. How many's Brandon got?
I think we got two.
How many's Mike got?
They got his first one yesterday.
How many's Alex got?
Two, I believe.
Okay. And these are the things I'm gonna ask from you sales managers every week, like,
Hey,
how many
Glenn,
do your people have?
Glenn, it's actually,
Yeah.
he's got 4 in a street purchase.
Alex has 4 and Bob off the street.
Okay, awesome. These are the things I'm gonna ask you guys every week. You should know, your team, you don't have a whole lot of people to lead. You should know exactly what's going on with them, where they're at. I wanna know, I many they've sold. I want to know what kind of gross they're putting out. I want to know if they're, dealing with a freaking kidney stone. I want you to know everything about these guys and girls that you can possibly know. So Mike, Brandon, Alex, who's got Ashbrook?
She's in BDC for hot sales.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that. Okay, thank you. So that's all the salespeople, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I am gonna have to leave, so let me share with you real quick. So Shelby, I told you kind of what I need from you. James, each week I'm gonna want like service
James.
department revenue number.
James,
It's okay, we're taking notes.
the lifts got dropped off. He had to go get a forklift so they could unload and stuff.
Okay.
What do you need from
All
him,
right,
though?
Zach, will you take a note, Zach?
Yeah, we are.
So from here, I'm gonna want service department revenue numbers each week. I'm gonna wanna know his technician efficiencies each week. And then a rundown on everyone in his department that he leads. Shelby, with you, we talked about, your turnaround time, how many cars you guys were detailing, any quality control things that we need. And then I'm gonna need a rundown from you on everyone that you lead, right? Individually, how they're doing, so on and so forth. Over in finance, obviously our profit per vehicle. I'm also gonna wanna know penetration rates for all of our finance and insurance products. And then our, conversion rates for finance deals. You guys know, you guys are all about KPIs. So I want the KPIs from you guys. And then also from you guys, I'm gonna wanna know bank stuff, like what do our relationships look like with different banks? So Josue, maybe you have X number, and Kelly, you have Y number of banks. And our relationships with these banks are going to be the key to the future for us. When we were at Dan Cummins, later in life, when you guys got into finance, we could throw our weight around like crazy because we're the big, massive, freaking volume badasses. But early, and Sam can attest to this, dude, early, we were up these banks' asses, dude, sending freaking gift baskets, sending them gift cards, showing up and wishing them freaking happy birthday. Whatever we had to do to get these banks to be our freaking besties, we were all about it in the early days. And that's how we locked in a deal with Wells Fargo, which when we had Wells Fargo rocking and rolling, bro, it was freaking awesome. We could just put any deal together we want, and they freaking figure out a way to make it happen for us. We were doing 250 deals a month with Wells Fargo. It was insane, but that came from building relationships. And so Kelly and Josue, I want you guys to work on that, really building those relationships. And who am I missing? Why am I missing somebody? Church, Corey, Tom.
Brian?
I thought we had 6, like, sales managers and subcontractor. I guess it's 5.
Unless, you're counting me, and that's 6, I guess.
Yeah, I must be. Brian, lead conversion rate, super important, 8531 formula. I need you to really understand the 8531 formula and be able to bring that to me and say, we had this many leads this week, we set this many appointments, this many of those appointments showed up, and this is how many we sold. I really need to be very, very clear on what that looks like. Also, our outbound outbound results. I don't care so much about activity, Brian, you'll learn this about me. I know we need to do activities to be successful, but I care most about the result. Are we driving the result, right? So I want you to come to the table, for example, and say, hey, the team made 140 outbound videos, and from those 140 outbound videos, they sold 12 units. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know the result more than I care about the activity itself.
Yes, sir.
So if you'll bring those to me every week, and then Hannah, you know what you need, and then Sam and Dylan and Evan and Jessica and myself, it's our responsibility to be resources for 800% Elite Auto sales. It is our responsibility to hold them accountable, because everybody needs accountability, bro. I am a better man because I am held accountable by multiple people. I'm held accountable by my mentors. I'm held accountable by my partners. I'm held accountable by my clients. And I'm held accountable by my freaking wife, bro. She don't put up with no nonsense. But accountability is what we all need in our lives in order to be the best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be. And so, Evan, that's your role and the expectation I have from you. 800% Elite Auto Sales is paying 800% Club to train and consult. Therefore, the expectation is that we hold them accountable, we help grow each of the individuals in this organization. Dylan, same with you. Stan, same with you. Then Jess, same with you. Casey, which that's who I was missing too. Casey, weekly, you know the KPIs that I like, so I'll need those from you weekly. As far as budget, how much we're investing, what kind of results we're getting, how many leads we've generated, how those leads are converting, all of those KPIs for you, also Casey. And then Casey is playing kind of a dual role. Casey is here to train and consult in the world of marketing, and she's also executing on the marketing for the store as well as for the consulting side. And so the expectations are on our team, just like the expectations are on your team. Some of my concerns that I have right now that I want you guys to attack, I already mentioned one of them. Like, you guys should be generating deals. You guys should have more deals than me, that's for sure. I haven't even been there since the freaking dealership opened, and I got a truck going out today, right, Zach? It's supposed to be there at 11?
Yeah, that's what it said yesterday. I haven't looked this morning.
All right, and can we give that, do you want to give that deal to Lamont?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's give that deal to Lamont, and you should have her number. If not, I'll give it to you, and I'll just tell her, she's free to come in whenever. So
Yeah, just
you already have the information on her trade, right?
Yeah, it's in NICU. Just send me your number on
Okay, so I'll send you her number, give her to Lamont, because he freaking deserves it, and let's put that deal together today. James, maybe he's not in there, but let's go ahead and make sure it's only got, how many miles on it? 7,000 miles on it?
7,400, I think, so.
Yeah, let's just have Shelby clean it up and we should be good. Everything's under warranty.
Yeah. I'm doing an oil change.
Yeah, do an oil change on it. Remember that they should be selling, marketing, or promoting. They shouldn't be doing anything, or prospecting. They shouldn't be doing anything else. And when I talk about processes and you guys building up processes, like, what is the freaking daily process? What are they supposed to be doing at 8:30? What are they doing at 9? What are they doing at 10? What are they doing at 11? What are they doing at 12? What are they doing at 1? What are they, if I'm not with a customer, what should I be doing? Like, they need that from you desperately. These people are so freaking bought into this idea that you're gonna make them the best they can possibly be. They believe in you so freaking much, dude. Do not let them down. They need a system. They need a process. Yep, it looks like I already touched on all those things. Never be alone, right? Never be alone. All your calls, all your deals, all your decisions, show these people. Let them catch you being excellent. Tony, that's the key. All right? And we don't have any room for excuses like we talked about earlier. So I know I did most of the talking in this meeting. In future meetings, you guys will do most of the talking. and inform me. And Dylan will be here to guide, Sam will be here to guide, I'll be here to guide, Evan will be here to guide, Casey will be here to guide, Jessica will be here to guide. But ultimately, we gotta fucking, excuse my language, but it's time, boys and girls.
Dear God.
Like, it's time. We've had our little grace period, we had our little tweaks, and I'm telling you, I freaking appreciate it more than anything in the world. The work that you guys did to get these banks on board. Sheesh. I just saw a dealer that I've known for 2.5 years now, maybe 3 years. He just posted that they just got their 11th bank. They've been going for freaking 3 years, bro. You guys did it in like a few weeks. I appreciate that. I appreciate the inventory that's out there. I appreciate the market. I appreciate everything we're doing. Now it's game time. That was all practice. Now it's game time. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. I really do hate to race out, but stay there. Sam, Dylan, Evan, or all you guys, stay here. Talk through. Ask questions. Share your concerns. Be radically candid. Radically candid. Do not be afraid to say, yo, I need you to step it up right here. Or, hey, I don't have what I freaking need to be successful. Like, have those conversations. Always be kind, but be radically candid. Don't worry about whether somebody's got thick skin or not. Like, we're not gonna do that. We're all family in here. We love each other. We've been together for a really long time, right? Everybody in here loves each other. So let's be respectful enough to communicate clearly our needs, our strengths, our weaknesses, so that we can all get better. Is that fair?
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right. You guys stay. I gotta go.
Get rich.
Zach, take the lead.
Get rich.
Get rich. Zach, take the lead.
All right, got it.
That's how I end our meetings. I always say, all right, 1, 2, 3, get rich. I just want to get rich. I met with him. It was over with him.
And all the stuff he's talking about, like, I hit on yesterday. Getting our receipts, being, that type of thing. The whole coaching the customer last night, and they're going on day comes. That's really talked about all this stuff, even individually, just yesterday. So I don't know. If you have anything.
I got some
The one thing that I've seen from like the YouTube videos and the few times I've been in and this and that is it just seems like there's sometimes a little bit of a lack of like urgency. Sometimes it's like we're waiting. Like I told Glenn yesterday on the phone that honestly, being an owner, I would have flipped a wig when, excited coming back from whether Miami or something like that, comes into the dealership and there are people just sitting around and then there's people just like hanging out back in like BBC or frontline sales, and when he's got all this on like YouTube. So we need some like urgency. Brian, on every single YouTube video I've seen you walking around the dealership. Like you're walking around with Mike Evans, or you're like walking around doing something. You need to like coach your guys and like sit back there, and it needs to be like almost the same like what we're asking them to do. You should be doing. When we look at your activity, I didn't bring my glasses, so I don't even know on here, but Tom's not here to borrow these. We're asking them to do this and that for like, and I know Glenn's thing is on the activities thing, he's wanting to see more results, but, if we're asking them for activities, your activities should be even higher. When we looked at, when we were traveling to Alabama, we saw like the number of like calls and this and that I think Diane or whatever, I think she was like killing it. Nick was doing good, but you had like very little in there as far as like your activity goes. It needs to be like follow up with that. When we got 0 guys with 0 cars out, and a couple of those, or at least one of those, I think you guys mentioned was like a truck.
You know, I understand there's things going on, I understand 2 weeks, but the first week we had an excuse, you know, the second week we need to like, there needs to be some fire lit, you know, under some of their butts. I mean, we're 2 weeks in now, starting the third week, needs to be like a little fire lit, you know, with some of these guys in a nice way, in a constructive way, in a productive way, but we need to get a little fire lit, you know, with them. So, I mean, that's just the stuff from outside. Like I said, I've not been in the store. I'm only seeing what's on, you know, YouTube. We've been traveling so much, and I apologize about that. After this week, I will make sure that I'm more available to be in the store. But I mean, that's just what I'm seeing from YouTube. So if I'm seeing that, then everybody's seeing that. You know, if we're sitting around, I mean, hell, how busy do we look? You know, all the fire you guys brought, you know, especially that first week, all the freaking like lighting everything up. That can only stay for so long. I mean, that's only going to be able to maintain for so long. You got a guy that, you know, gave us everything to us, and he's selling them hell. Lamont, that one car, that was the first car, right? One of the first cars, or the first car that they sold. So, and that's it. So in 2 weeks, and every time I've been in there, or every time I've seen him on like the YouTube videos, he's got a customer. You know, so what are we doing the follow-up part of it? You know, are we, like when I jump into drive, your guys' work plans, managers wise, your work plans aren't being touched until like sometime later in the day. You know, it needs to be like first thing in the morning, it needs to be knocked out and hammered. And like I said, it's been a couple days, so maybe that has changed. But, you know, last week when I looked, I was going back and forth between 800s and Edwards and, you know, Easy Autos, and everybody looking at like work plans. You know, 800s work plans were, you know, hadn't been touched yet from the managers. So
We spoke about that. Our work plan may be how much now?
Yeah. And it's also knocking them out early, but there's time tasks for specific triggers in the system. So like, for example, I went to the desk log yesterday, and out of everyone that was checked out of the store, I believe we followed up to thank the customer for coming in on like 2, one of which was a sold vehicle, the other one was an email sent by Tom. I mean, those type of tasks are gonna populate every time, so it's not only knocking it out early in the morning, it's staying consistent and watching those tasks come across. Because we gotta be different with that. Every other dealership sending an email thanking somebody, and we sent one. Like, we should be sending a video thanking you. We have an experience, we have a showroom unlike no one else. Like, we should show that off every time that we can.
And you guys have it tough. I mean, there's nobody in this room or anybody on the call can actually say, you guys have it rough. I mean, because it's an independent store. We're starting from fresh.
Yeah,
you
there's
know,
nothing already in place.
nothing already in place. Because I was sitting there thinking about when you was talking about starting from scratch, and I was sitting there, well, I'm like, well, you know, yeah, I didn't know it when we started Georgetown, we had everything already in place. So it's just, we kind of just jumped into it. So can't even say that. So you guys had that, but I mean, kind of go time for some of these guys. I mean, it really is. Just, you know, help them figure out a little bit, but that's the only thing I can see. And that, like I said, once again, that's from outside in. You know, not there every day, so I don't know. But outside in, just on what you can see on video, there's no urgency, like zero. It's like we're waiting, you know, and we can't wait. I mean, hell, you're already, what, 2 weeks in? So we just can't wait. It's got to be go, go, go. It's got to be like, come on, it's go time.
Yeah, I think too, you know, like we just say this stuff and Sam and Dylan speaking for you all, but we get the opportunity to see dealerships all over the United States, and we get to see the things that they trip up on and the things that we consult. Like we're working with a client right now. They paid Sam and Dylan $38,000 for a couple months of work, and they're not doing one piece of it. So it's like we see the other aspects, and we've all worked together. And I know you guys have been at other dealerships too, but we really care about the team as a whole. Like with you guys succeeding helps us succeed as well. We're going to feed off of each other. So all of this is constructive criticism. It means nothing. Like we're not saying it just to be rude or to say something. Like we see it around the country, and we want to stick out and be different. And those are the only ways to do it. So I know you guys are going to get it done. And Sway and Kelly, we can jump on a call about some of the banks. I got some emails and stuff that we need to work up. UK, we need to start pressing them a little bit. I'll send over his number. I've communicated with him a little bit. I think we can get that one. and lean in on me. Let me know why we aren't getting approvals. And I know that the warranty costs are a little bit different right now. We're going to try to get US or protected as soon as we can. So we're working on that. You guys are doing great. You're finalizing all the lenders. You're working with the customers. You're spotting deals. You're doing the stuff. So should continue to push, and we got to make some of those harder deals that we're maybe not used to. We got to make them deals for our salespeople because we can't afford to lose anybody right now, and that's what will happen if we don't put deals together.
And to piggyback off what Glenn was saying, like for y'all to get banks, if y'all ever want me to step in and help create you something to give to them, and one of y'all step out, just yell at me.
And I think, exactly what Evan said to me is more, when we're talking to you guys, because that's why I made sure it's from outside in and like YouTube. I'm looking at it because a lot of these dealers we do work with, they're watching the YouTube videos. So if we're going in there and we're telling them, you need to do this and you need to do that and this and that. When we were just in Alabama, a couple, we mentioned, well, we know you have your store, back home you're working with them, so no, we're just working with them, we're not working there. But they're watching the videos. So if these videos show, we're in there saying, don't sit down, don't do this, don't stay in your finance. We just told one guy, like, we put it in written expectations that he can no longer just sit in his office. You can no longer just sit in your office, and then he had like numbers he's got to hit too, but you can no longer just sit in your office. You need to come out and help on the stuff, and that is a written expectation, probation type thing. But yet, when we're watching YouTube videos, we've got guys sitting at the sales desk, we've got guys sitting in the finance office, we've got the frontline sales managers walking around. These are things we're telling them not to do, but yet when they see us on camera, then we're doing it. It's like, how much clout does that give me, Evan, and Dylan, and Glenn, when we're, especially me, Evan, and Dylan, we're talking to these dealers, we're in these dealers, and we're saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Well, you guys are, or you guys aren't. So it makes makes our job, harder.
In all fairness, on YouTube, you see maybe 10, 15 minutes a day total inside the store.
But it's that 10 minutes. That's what I'm saying.
I get it, but it's.
But that's the transparent part that we're trying to throw out there. So.
I'm walking around doing a video at the end of the day, talking about the day. There's going to be people sitting around or walking through the show or other stuff, so that's going to be going on in the background. I don't disagree with you all. I'm just saying that
we got to watch the
it's a very, very small
portion. Right.
Very, very small portion of what really
Now,
is
when
going
it
on.
starts the live streaming 24/7, and that happens, then that's gonna be.
Right.
We're saying if we get in the habit of now, all eyes are on us 24/7, we won't have to worry about it. So I would figure out how do we make sure that doesn't happen, whether it's delegating them or getting involved, training, no one being alone. Like they should be with somebody at all times, and that will eliminate some of that. Everything that I have on here, obviously we don't have a lot of data to really go off of. The only thing that really sticks out is we had 60 eligible calls and we made 51, so there was 9 opportunities where we didn't reach out to the customer or call them when we first got the lead. So that's something we need to dive into. On the text side, there was 60 text eligible. We only sent 57, so there was 3 people that didn't get texted or called on the first day when we received the lead. So that's something that we need to correct. Nick's is the only one on first response that's over 5 minutes, so we need to watch that. It's 6 minutes, 12 seconds, and some of those are going to be from the first leads because this is month to date. So some of those are going to be the first leads that we input in the system that took a little longer to respond to, but just keep an eye on that so we keep that under 5 minutes. And then the average response time in the top right there, second row, we don't necessarily need that at 5 minutes, but we need that as close to 5 minutes as possible. Ashbrook hasn't had as many opportunities as the other 3 on the list there with her starting later. So hers is below that 5 minutes, but if we could creep that down to 7 minutes, 6 minutes, and just work on progressively getting that lower, that will help make sure that we stay engaged. But as far as everything else, obviously we're not going to align with the 8531 closing percentages because we don't have the leads to get there yet. To be on par with 8531, we would need 1,600 leads at this point, month to date. We're at 206, so we're way off that. But we are closing at a 47.92% when we do get them in the door. So if we can keep that percentage and then increase our leads and continue to work it the way we're working, we're gonna be good. So I don't have any problems with the frontline sales in terms of activity and the production from that. We just gotta focus on those few things and keep rocking and rolling.
When we go to these places, we talk to them, tell them about, we would imagine, how hard it's been, no air conditioning, no nothing, it works, starts from fresh, but, all I'm asking is to help us out a little bit, defend what we're going in and preaching, that's all I'm asking, help us a little bit.
I'll just say, I think we've done a hell of a job, selling 19 cars with 11 banks. It has been tough. I think, honestly, we've lost probably 20 clients, 20 customers, because we couldn't get them approved because of the lenders. That's a big part of it.
Are we seeing a lot of
The lenders we have, we've got a lot of subprime lenders. I think our prime is what, Bank of America, US Bank,
Capital One, Wells Fargo, Fifth Third, we've got.
Yeah.
We don't
have
not all those
those.
are on.
Not all those are on.
Fifth Third's not on, Wells
Fifth
Fargo's
Third,
not on.
PNC,
So what type of customers are we losing? I guess, like you mentioned.
Subprime. We're losing subprime customers.
Yes.
Yeah,
Our
we're
customer
losing
base so
subprime.
far has been 90% subprime.
Yeah, it really has.
Every
Yeah.
contract
That's
is
what I
like
thought.
When we get like Santander, we
Typically below 600, most considered subprime.
they were my mom.
Our token of Santander.
I got a call from,
Internal board.
I got a call from
Not
David
only
Henson,
the
he
background,
was bigger in the front of the building.
8, 9, 10 negative equity.
So the
And
one that I
we
brought
gotta
up,
remember, guys, we're an independent too, so like normally these banks don't exist in the independent world. I know that they do in the franchise, but we're one off just to even be in conversation to acquire them. So, I understand that, we gotta have the banks get approved, but we also have to be creative in other ways, because, I know Kelly and Sway and Zach and everybody, and all the people working to get the banks, we're working our ass off to do it. So let's figure out other ways that we might be able to make it happen. I don't know what those are, because I'm not in there every day, but Kelly, Sway, let's brainstorm about it and see, what else we could be doing.
And that's what I was talking about yesterday in our meeting is, we can say we need this bank and this bank, but we don't have it. We just have to figure out how to sell a car. Whatever that looks like,
Right.
Maybe it's
If it looks like eat some down payment money for a customer, let's eat it. If it looks like, hey, give me $500 this week, $500 next week, let's do it.
That's why I mentioned when we met before, was that 2 weeks before when I said you guys were, I believe that your store was going to be, or that our store was going to be 60-70% subprime. I believe that. I still believe it could go 50-50 at one point, but if you just drive up and down New Circle, I did it yesterday. It is so many, everybody approved and we financed and everything all up and down that street. So that's where, you guys have it tough with the banks. What bank is it that Ryan and them have already? When they hadn't even opened up yet, that Resurrection Auto.
They're a floor plan Westlake.
Westlake, so we have
Westlake.
Yeah, we have
So yeah, those are all things we've been talking about. On what to do, whatever that looks like, whatever it takes. We just have to get the momentum going. Our team is good enough that we're gonna make the money. And the gross is gonna be there, the gross is gonna come, but we're not gonna have the opportunity and the deals to make the gross if we don't, keep our salespeople happy and get car deals. They don't care if we make money. Y'all remember going on that big plan? I love you saying, I didn't give a shit if we made money. I always worked the customer as hard as I could, yes, but at the end of the day, if I felt like we had to come up with $1,000 somewhere to do the deal, I didn't care. I wanted them to come up with $1,000 to do the deal.
And love you too, we do that. The managers do that, and I actually mentioned to the managers, and anytime there was a new desk manager especially, listen, they don't care, what we're making, we're losing on a deal, because they're like, it's just next, so. We do that, but that's something we always have to keep in the back of our heads, because especially as managers, it's something that's the hardest thing to, do, but.
But we don't have the volume to pass up on that $1,000 discount right now. Like, you know, if that's what it takes to do the deal, that's what it takes to do the deal. Oh, well, we lost $2,200. Okay, cool, let's buy another one, we'll make 44 on it. You know, like, we have to find a way to do
Sort of
this.
trade, you know, that we're making money off of, or this.
There's all kinds of, we got the pack, we got the dock fee. You know, there's ways that the dealership is gonna be profitable. We just have to find a way to put these deals together. Have to. And if that means losing some money, it means losing some money.
We
But
would
right
have
now,
enough of the inventory that is in the lower cost range for these people that, have that credit or.
we're at like 90% of our inventory falls under that. So it's.
What's
Just
the
put them
biggest
together.
thing?
Just put them together. Yeah, have our seats, like, stop letting salespeople present first proposals. I've said that a few times. You know, I've mentioned.
Especially if you see it's an issue, like, you know, if there's ones that.
Well, it's like I said, that's like I've told them, I haven't said this in front of everybody, but I have the managers, like, these salespeople, yeah, they came from where we came from, but they didn't come from where we came from, if that makes sense. Like, it's not the same. They left because it's broken. They left because there's no leadership. They left because there's no training. Like, they don't have the skill set that we have. It's our job to teach them that skill set. And the only way that they're gonna learn is if we are about our seats in front of the customers, the ones doing the talking and the negotiating. And that starts at the first proposal. I mean, it really does. Like, you can lose a customer at the first proposal. Very, very easily. We've all seen it happen. That's happened to me personally many, many times as I was growing in the business. Probably happened to you all many, many times as you was growing in the business. It's so easy to lose, but we don't have the volume. Like, we don't have that volume to fall back on. We'll sell somebody else later. Like, we don't have that volume. We have to hold on to every single customer like it's the last customer we're gonna see all day and find some way to put a deal together.
I saw a quote recently, I've said in a couple videos, and it's just such a moment I could hit you right away when Zach was talking. People leave people, not companies.
Yes.
So we just have to make sure are we doing everything we can to help them? If not, it's not like they're leaving 800%, they're leaving because we failed. So, I mean, that's what we need to make sure we're always put in mind, you know, people leave people, not companies. They're gonna, a lot of these guys, if they left 800, they're gonna go maybe work at another car dealership, you know, but they left because of, they left because of what we did to them or what we didn't do. So,
In our situation, it's probably more what we didn't do. Because, like we talked about.
you guys are upbeat, man. You guys are upbeat. You keep it motivated. I mean, and that's the great stuff that you see. It's the behind the scenes, and sometimes on camera, which is something we all have to get comfortable with. Being on camera all the time and that kind of stuff. It's difficult. Now Dylan catches me every damn time. He takes a picture of me. I'm like, like that or something like that. So I'm not paying attention. I'm like, but it's one of those things we all have to make sure we're comfortable, make sure that know that you're freaking somebody's always watching you. And in my head, for a decade, I preached it to like people, like the fact that all eyes are always on you, somebody's always watching you. Now it is. Now it truthfully is. Somebody's always watching you. And it's gonna get worse when it's like 24/7. So keep that in mind. Somebody's always watching you, and that you just need to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
And we need to kind of talk to our salespeople as well, because I have helped 3, maybe 4 customers out on the lot, and there not been one salesperson in that showroom, out on that lot, nowhere. I'm like, hey, I got a customer up here, who wants to help them? Nothing, and that doesn't look good.
Especially if we're gonna leave, right now.
And I'm like, hold on, go get somebody.
Eventually, I know we're gonna add people, but right now we're kind of on the lead.
There's a guy pulled up, looks like he's a receptionist.
Bad part is we're not running lean, like we have enough people.
People want to actually pick out
Like, I left a customer yesterday,
Yeah,
couldn't find a customer. Brandon come out, walking out the front door, pushing a chair and sliding across the front porch and in. I was like, hey man, there's a customer out here. It's like, oh, where? Like looking, like, just walk out there.
They want
There's
to
cars,
be
you
right
can't see
here.
them, like just
Yeah.
walk out there and go find them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have
go
to make sure
after it.
that it's not for a lot of these guys, it's not where they came from. Where people all the time. Now it's the fact that you're gonna have to sort of watch the lot a little bit, you know, and help out, and help control the lot. And some customers don't wanna come into the front door. I mean, they're literally somebody, you know, that they're just wanting to drive around. But I mean, those are the ones we sometimes catch.
I'm not customer. I actually just asked because the other day I was up there bringing something to Kelsey, and this guy pulls up in a red Jeep Grand Cherokee, and he gets out, and I said, "Hey, is that a customer? Cause y'all are in here, and there's nobody out here helping this man." "Oh yeah, somebody will get him." Nobody ever walked out there and helped that man. And guess what he did? He got back in his Jeep and he left. And I kept saying, I think he's a customer. Look at his, and I don't know why I said this, but I kept seeing his shoes. He had on high top Jordans. I was like, that's not anybody that works here. They didn't have those color shoes on. He just kept walking.
That's why we treat people like the sales managers not to sit at their desks and be like hovering around. Like when we're in like when we're in Alabama, for instance, me and Dylan would probably sit down a grand total of 15 minutes over like a 12-hour day. Because we're out in the lot, we're looking for material, we're constantly like training. This is what you have to do, especially with these guys. Right now, especially. Anybody got anything else?
Clay is asking about getting an 800% tint. He just asked if we had one. I said no. He said, can we get one made before Saturday?
Probably not, it's Tuesday.
I told him to go, we could go buy, like, buy one depending on the size. You can get them at Walmart. And I can just put 800 on the sides. But, I mean, I need it. Yeah.
10 by 10.
Is that for y'all? Something for y'all?
That's me.
Yeah, I didn't know.
We got no idea.
He's reaching out to the wrong person.
Well, I'm asking because, like, I don't remember who went with him. Some event they went to this weekend.
Well, they had that big, huge car show in Indiana this weekend. I don't know if you think about that. Robert.
I didn't know if, like, how we have customer packaging on, this is where I step in, if we need to have something prepped for that kind of stuff.
Well, a lot of times, people come in and ask us if we wanna do like a sponsorship, or do we wanna give them something that they can give away to people? And we can
That's
do
something
that
we
with
should
the
talk about
bags.
today.
And our answer to that question is going to be unclean.
He wants to find out what's important to you all as a team. Every single day, I am getting a message, text, phone call, Facebook, or an email asking how 800% Elite Auto or 800% Elite Automotive Club or Glenn Lundy LLC can sponsor a baseball team, a soccer team, a cheerleading, basketball, this, that, or whatever. And Glenn tells me every time, our company only sponsors my child.
Yeah,
For
that's what,
motocross. Like he says that,
I think
it's
it's
like,
important to do your employees' kids,
Uh,
only because
Glenn's-
you are supporting their family
Yeah.
and something that is important to them.
So Glenn said,
no, mine's a joke. He's
have to be
never seen a
clear.
penny.
So we have to be clear on what matters to us, like Dan Cummings does CASA, whether it's veterans, cancer, dyslexia, kids, pets, whatever we all decide on as a team. And what we tell people is we gladly cheer for their success, but we partner with blah, 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 and that's who we sponsor. We'll give chunks of money at one time instead of $100 here, $100 there, $200 here. You can't ever really keep up with it. We all said veterans to begin with.
We got one Purple Heart veteran right here.
Yeah, me too. Glenn said
We got
veterans.
several
Yeah.
veterans
Yeah.
that work here.
Glenn didn't seem too excited about that. So.
I would.
But we've yet to sit down and figure anything out
think
either.
along the lines of like, but tie it and take it higher, like, veterans, first responders, and that way you open
A
it
big-
up a little bit bigger, veterans, first responders,
Because somebody-
healthcare, that
Everybody
type
has
of thing.
somebody that's either a veteran or first responder.
But that's, that makes it so broad. There's so many different areas that you could do.
Like I joined
for the Rock Run.
But, you know,
It is for Rock Run.
we have a meeting every month, and they ask, hey, we got this amount of money, where should we go, where should we invest time? You know, so I'm trying to set that